Hello everybody, welcome to Creative Chess channel, and today my next middle game lesson, which is devoted to the topic regrouping of T.Petrosian. So today I'm going to speak about such types of positions. They mostly arrive from Queen's Gambit Declined, but even if you don't play Queen's Gambit Declined, it doesn't mean that you don't need to know this, because actually it's very interesting, and you should know that in such types of positions, when usually your opponent is attacking on the queen side, you have a chance to regroup your pieces. How in 1967 regroup his pieces to T.Petrosian for the first time, he used such strategy. So what strategy I'm speaking about? In these types of position, when the opponent is attacking on the queen side, you have a chance to regroup, to put your bishop on d6, then a knight, or first let the queen go to h4, and then with the knight jump to f6, and from f6 you can jump either on e4 or on g4. So let's have a look how Petrosian used this idea for the first time. So again, it was played in Venice in 1967 between Pachman and Petrosian. Petrosian was playing black, and it was his move. You see that white has already showing their invasion moods. They're going to be active on the queen side, and to create some counterplay, Petrosian played a bishop to e7 and starts a regrouping, which was later called after him. His opponent played queen b3, attacking the pawn, rook a7, and bishop d6. You see bishop from f6, a not very nice square where it was attacking only the pawn, but the pawn was protected, so actually doing nothing. So the bishop is regrouping and comes to much better square d6, and now it's looking at the white king. And queen h4, already you see checkmate is coming, that's why white played g3. In this game, white understood that it's quite dangerous for them just to be active on the queen side, and they have to come back with the pieces. And you see they are returning pieces back. If they went on playing on the queen side, they would definitely be checkmated, for example, with some active moves of the knights, which could also join the game. In some types of these positions, you can also play actively with the rook. So, but here white is also playing correctly. You see they brought some pieces to protect their king. And after several moves, like h5, h4, you see white is blocking all play by black. In several moves, they agreed to a draw. So what was happening in the game, and you see they started some repeating of the moves, and after knight h3, they agreed to the draw. So after this game, which was played in 1967, I repeat again, so this maneuver became known as the maneuver or regrouping of pieces of Petrosian. Again, you see here, queen goes to h4, especially of course if the knight is not there, and the knight jumps either on e4 or g4. If the knight is standing somewhere far away, then you should also remember about, in some cases, Greek gift sacrifices on h2, which can be also possible. Okay, let's have a look at another game. It's very interesting that this game was played only 2 years later, after the previous game, and Petrosian was playing in his match for the World Cup against Spassky, and it was black to move, but here Spassky was playing black, and Spassky had an opportunity to apply this Petrosian plan against Petrosian himself. Again, you see the position reminds us the one we have just seen. You see that white is active on the queen side as always, and black set is the one we have just seen. But instead of using this plan, Petrosian's plan with the knight f4, maybe then knight e4, Spassky didn't follow Petrosian plan, played a5, and actually this game black lost. I'm not sure, not just because he didn't use this plan, active plan, but he just was outplayed by Petrosian, so here white won, and Spassky had the chance to use his opponent's plan, but just missed it and lost. In the same game, in the same match, I mean, between Spassky and Petrosian in 1969, here black, so Petrosian was playing black, it was his move, and you see the difference between the first positions and this one, that here our bishop is already standing on d6, a set has already been done, almost everything is in action, and here Petrosian was playing against Spassky and outplayed him. Let's have a look. So knight e4, here black starts playing actively first on the queen side. See, queen d7, attacking the pawn, so it's very important, white has to protect it. b5, you see black is playing on the queen side. Usually we're speaking about this attack, but in a second they switch to the king side, and after rook to d1, queen h4, g3, queen e7. So, and then in this game Petrosian outplayed Spassky. Here, even in this position, we may see that the king side is weakened. You see these squares. In some cases, later maybe h5, h4 is possible. And yeah, this pawn is also quite weak because you always have to take care of it. And Petrosian outplayed Spassky in this game. And the last game I wanted to show you, it was played in Calcutta in 1999 between Gokhale and Barua. And here black also used Spassky idea, Petrosian idea, Petrosian set to outplay his opponent. Of course, guys, you may already guess, you see bishop is doing nothing, looking at the pawn, so time for Petrosian regrouping. And bishop to e7 was played, and white wants to play actively on the queen side. You see, again and again, white tries to play actively on the queen side. Instead, we are going to attack them on the king side. Knight f6, bishop d6, h3. Here already you should calculate all this, but in some variations Greek gift sacrifice is possible. You also need to be aware of these possibilities. h3, white is protecting everything, but anyway, knight e4, knight c5. Knight c5 is a bad move. It would have been better to eliminate the knight and to play something like that, but anyway, here it's quite difficult for white to play this position, because you should always be aware of some sacrifices on h3. Maybe so rook will come to help, So anyway, its position of black is better, but instead of capturing the knight, white played knight to c5, and there was a sacrifice, very beautiful. By the way, it's also a typical sacrifice. I myself played such a set several times, but usually I sacrifice knight on f2 when my queen is standing on e7 to be sure that I capture something else. But here it also became possible because after taking, you see the queen is coming, and pawn. You can take the pawn. You have very active position. It was played very interestingly. Rook took on h3, king knight to g1. So if to take, actually it's lost. You see the queen is too exposed, and it would have been something like that. Yeah, but of course you may see that white king is too reactive, too brave. Yeah, and it finally get checkmated. So that's why it's impossible to take this rook. And here, after queen f6, which followed in the game, knight goes to f3. And again, so rook sacrifice, gf, takes, check, so the king has to retreat somewhere. Bishop h3, you see very nice bishops which are very active. Check. Bishop g3. And the king is almost alone, nobody protects. You see all white pieces are on the queen side, and they don't have a possibility to protect their poor king. Only the queen is trying, but the queen is not enough. There is no pawn barrier here. And that's why, you see, slowly white has been outplayed by black. Bishop g4. The rook finally came to help, but it's too late. After bishop to f3, white resigned, because actually they are losing their queen. It's impossible to play here, for example, because of checkmate. Yeah, okay, guys, let's return and let's repeat. You see here in some variations, especially of Queen's Gambit declined, we may have this structure. And in this case, in about 99%, it means that we will be attacked on the queen side. And in this case, we may use the regrouping of Petrosian, playing bishop e7, bishop d6, queen h4, knight f6, and from f6 goes either to g4 or to e4. Of course, we have to understand that in every case we need to be flexible and have a look what white is doing. Besides, what other ideas? So Greek gift sacrifice in some variations is possible, and so you may also put our rook in the attack, also possible. And as we see in the last game, if the knight stands either on e4 and g4, except taking this pawn, sometimes sacrifices on f2 are also possible. That's why you should always be aware of such possibility. Okay, guys, I hope you liked the video. Please subscribe to my YouTube chess channel. See you in my next videos, and bye-bye.